Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, Coach, appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. Y'all usually don't get a midweek off like you have this week. I'm curious what the schedules look like this week, however y'all using that extra time.
Just trying to let our bodies rest a little bit and get a chance to watch film and see some of the things that we're doing really well and some of the things that we need to improve on without the pressure of having a game in 2 days. So that's been really productive. It's been really good.
You mentioned the things y'all need to work on. I'm curious kind of what specifically is that and kind of how you're all going about addressing it in practice.
Well, I think we got to rebound the ball a little bit better. I think we got to get into the ball defensively a little bit better, which we will as the season goes on. We've usually gotten better and better. But we got to get better at getting into the ball and keeping the ball outside the paint. And when the ball goes and hits the rim, we got to have all five guys box out and go rebound it.
And last one for me, as y'all turn the page to Mississippi State, I'm curious what y'all see on film. What are the challenges that they present to y'all?
Well, they got Hubbard, who's one of the best scorers in the country. He's all-time leading scorer in the state of Mississippi, I think, over 260 made threes. I think he's second all-time in 3 points made at the university. I mean, he's an unbelievable offensive talent who can ball as well as anybody in the country. Then you got another guy named Epps who's pretty good, gets downhill. Jones gets downhill. They're a good team. Their record doesn't indicate how good they are. Strong, physical. They've got an identity. They know how they want to play, and they've got two really good. Well, I say two. They got three really good guards, but one elite guard in Hubbard who's as good as anybody.
Anthony.
Yeah, hey Chuck, hope you're doing well. Thanks for taking the time. I remember, I think a couple of weeks ago, Coach Khaled talked about potentially playing Pringle and Malik Ewan together, but that it was difficult to do that without, some time in practice. Just curious, is that something you guys have been doing in practice this week, running those guys together? If so, how's that kind of looked?
Yeah, we haven't spent a whole lot of time on it, but it's certainly something that's come up. It's certainly something that's a possibility moving forward. We got to see what it looks like on the offensive end and what it looks like on the defensive end. But yeah, it's something that we've talked about and we've kind of touched on it a little bit during the week.
And then Cal also mentioned potentially playing Carter Knox and Billy Richmond together after the Kentucky, a little bit more after the Kentucky game. I'm just curious, just what does that kind of look like if they're going to be playing together more often than they already are? I guess just what do you guys kind of hope to get out of that if that's going to be the case?
Just gives us more size at the wing, more rebounding, hopefully, a physicality attacking the rim. Towards the end of the year last year, Billy and Carter played quite a bit together towards the end of the SEC regular season, SEC tournament, and then the NCAA tournament against Kansas and St. John's and Texas Tech. And both of those guys played really, really well together. So hopefully we can get more downhill paint touches, more physicality at the rim. Pretty good size wing defenders. So yeah, it's a good group, good combination to have together.
And talking about Mississippi State, obviously they've got, like you mentioned, Josh Hubbard. How do you, I guess, kind of go about, I guess, emphasizing how big of a threat he is while also making sure that you're not, overlooking guys like Epps and Jones and, all the rest of the threats they've got?
Yeah, exactly what you just said. We're not overlooking any of those guys. Hubbard is such a great talent that you can spend a lot of time talking about him, and he warrants that attention. But Epps is really good, and Jones is really good, and their bigs are physical and strong, and they, like I said before, their record does not reflect how good they are. They got a heck of a coach, really good staff. They're in this league every single night. Uh, Anyone can beat anyone. That's been proven, this season alone. So we're not overlooking the other guys on the roster at all. There's a reason why they're in the SEC. There's a reason why they're playing for a coach with such a great program. So if they're at Mississippi State, they're good players.
Matt.
Hey Chuck, hope you've had a good week so far. As far as the bye week goes, do you get a sense that guys were, welcoming to a break from games, or could you feel that they were maybe itching to get back out there after Kentucky?
Oh, I'm sure they're competitors, so they want to get out there and compete and play right away. But I think having the bye week allows us some time to recover physically, mentally, emotionally. It's a long season for not just us, but for everyone around the country. There's a reason why there are bye weeks in every league around the country. You need a moment to catch your breath, and it came at the right time. It came at the right time.
I think Hubbard last year against you guys shot, 4 or 5 of 16. Um, does the game plan change for him at all? And
It was a different team last year. It's not the same team, so we can certainly learn, I guess, from watching last year's film, but it's a different team with different, personalities. He's a good player, man. He's averaging 20 points a night. I know in league play the last 5 games, he's not scoring it as much, but I mean, he is the all-time leading scorer in Mississippi history, high school, and over 260. I can't emphasize that enough. Made threes and second all time in school history and made threes. Like he is an elite scorer. And so yeah, we're trying to prepare for that here in the next 2 days.
and then Coach Cal was saying on Saturday that he's wanting a little bit more from both Carter and Nick. For how long you've been in the game, do you think that there's one thing that there's a change, one thing they can change where the breakthrough is then going to open up?
Yeah, I think for both of those guys, they just need to get lost in the game. Get lost in the game, play hard, defend, rebound, do the little things, the simple things, and then I think you'll start to see the production that people are looking for in the offensive end. Those guys play really, really hard. They commit on a defensive side of the ball. At times, the numbers don't reflect that on the offensive side, but if they just relax and get lost in the game, I think good things are going to happen for both of those guys.
And I guess how important, down the second half, down the stretch, how important is it to have both Carter and Nick's, offensive scoring too?
Yeah, well, any production on the offensive end from Nick and Carter obviously is welcome, but it's going to happen. You just can't force it. It's going to happen. Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone develops differently. We're fully confident in both of those guys being able to help us on both sides of the ball.
Jackson?
Hey Chuck, we saw Malik walk in with the boot after the Kentucky game. Just curious, has he been able to practice with you guys this week?
Yeah. He's fine, and he's been in practice. He's been good. Yeah.
At the midway point of the SEC schedule, you already mentioned the rebounding. What else, like when the coaching staff thinks about this team at night, are like some things that you guys really want to, improve or solidify over the second half of the SEC slate?
Oh, I just think, getting out in transition, I think we're really, really good when we get out in transition, but that coincides with rebounding the ball. Rebound the ball, get stops, get out in transition, get paint touches. When the ball is moving and we've got bodies moving, we're really difficult to defend. We've got multiple options at any given time on the floor. But when the offense is stagnant, the ball's not moving as much, you don't get the production that you want. And we got to give the opposing team credit too. Those guys get paid as coaches and they got good players. So at times when we're stagnant, some of that has to do with the opposing team.
For as brilliant as Darius has been, does he have to kind of be this springboard in that ball movement, maybe not have the ball sticking to his hands so much? I mean, I know he's been so good, it's hard to ask him to do that, but is that part of something that can maybe elevate this team just a little bit more ball movement from the guards there? Am I
It
froze
looks like
here?
he's dominating the ball, and he is our primary ball handler, but he's been really, really unselfish. He's been looking for guys, but there are nights where he's got it going. And when he's got it going, we have such a great group of guys. When he's got it going, no one's fighting that. Like he can hit one or two shots, let him go. But he's been unbelievably unselfish all year long. I mean, he's found guys. Like I said, he had double-digit assists, if I'm not mistaken, a month ago or so, 3 times, right? If I'm not mistaken. and he's come close on other occasions. So for him to score the ball the way he has been and really have double-digit assists 3 times this season, yeah, really, it's incredible.
I know you guys didn't really shoot the three that well the last couple games, so maybe that lessened the attempts. But Carter and Malik only took one combined against Kentucky. Do you feel like the team has to, maybe seek out more 3-point opportunities for those two to get them going, or is it still paint touches and free throws? That's the name of the game for you guys.
No, I think paint touches are important, free throws are important, but as I said before, you got to rebound the ball to get out in transition so you can get open looks. I mean, a lot of open looks in transition from the three are your best bet. You have an advantage, right? It's a fast break. It's a 5-on-4, 4-on-3, 3-on-2. But if you're not rebounding the ball at a high rate, then you allow the defense to set up, and then it's a little bit more challenging to get those open looks. I think if we can do a better job of rebounding the ball, which we will, we'll get out in transition and then find some of those open looks that we've been looking for.
Last one for me. The Kentucky game was just so emotional. How has a team responded? And I don't know, 1, 2 practices you've had since then. And do you guys talk with them now about, hey, you're headed on the road, two teams towards the bottom of the SEC standings. The focus has to remain here.
Yeah, I think the emotional part is probably more for the fans. Whether it's those guys or any other team. It was an SEC opponent at home. We wanted to win the game. I don't know if it was as much of an emotional attachment to that particular game as it was maybe for the fans. But yeah, we moved on and we got to get ready for Saturday night. We've got a tough team at home against one of the best scorers in the country with some really, really good guys on that roster, and we're gonna get ready for those guys Saturday night, Saturday afternoon.
Anthony.
Yeah, just last one from me. I know you've mentioned, rebounding, defensive rebounding, getting out transition and stuff like that. But after the Kentucky game, Coach Cal talked about maybe trying to do some things differently on the defensive end. Just curious, just what have you guys been working on defensively over the past few days and practices? And I guess just what more do you want to see on that end of the ball?
Closing out high hands on shooters, a little bit more focused on personnel, knowing who are drivers, who are shooters, who are slashers, just tightening up the personnel part of it. And then as always, at the end of the shot clock, around the country, it's going to probably come down to ball screen offense versus ball screen defense. So we can always improve in our ball screen defense, but we did last year as the year went on, and I've got no doubt that we'll improve as the year goes on here.